Welcome to Come to Mama, who is ready to receive. Who is ready to receive? Me? Yes, backwards. Who's ready to receive? That is the energy phrase that I've been saying all day, hearing all day. And I wanted to talk briefly to beautiful people out there in the world who are ready to receive. And what I mean by that is for people who have been giving, but not receiving or getting what's due to them. This energy is definitely ready to start giving. So I'm going to pull a couple cards tonight. I'm also going to read from my, where'd you go? I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, here it goes. I'm going to read from my self-meditation quotes. The reason why I read is because I bought this book and I do not open it. I bought it from Marshall's months ago for $6.99, and I never ever look at it. So this is the opportunity to give me some game on meditation and you. So let's just pick a page. Spirit, please give us a page that we need to know about. It's going to help us learn how to receive. All right. So page 232. If you are not a happy person inside, then nothing outside will ever make you happy and able to feel love. Form your own prayer group. Notice that even in its regularity, your breath goes through subtle changes. The sensations that accompany the in-breath are somewhat different from the sensations that accompany the out-breath. As you relax and let the breath happen by itself, you will be able to sharpen your attention by noticing how interesting and complex the simple act of breathing really is. Rest in the breath's regularity and notice its constant subtle changes. Before going to sleep, rejoice in the day's accomplishments. Feel that you have enough and your sense of hunger will diminish. All right. A few tips from the Self Meditation by Barbara Ann Kipfer. So, I want to talk about being in the energy of receiving. I was having a conversation with a friend earlier today, and we were talking about past relationships, not just with uh, lovers, but just family. A lot of our childhood trauma is from our family. It's stuff that occurred to us as we were young children, and um, whether it was fair or not, whether it was severe or not severe, it caused our ego to protect us. But as we grew older, we didn't realize that was what was going on. And so as we grew older and thought we were getting wiser, we continued on with those behaviors and those that we used to protect us. And those behaviors are and were detrimental to your life now, it has a lot to do how people treat you or how you allow people to treat you. Now, there are some people that are very secure within themselves and self-sustaining. They don't require um, a lot of outside input. They just kind of have a knowing that they are going to be okay. Some spiritual, some not. Some understand the spiritual aspect of spirit guides, the choices we made to come here to reincarnate. And then there are some people who don't, but they just naturally have that sense of being and knowing. So they don't depend upon others to make or break them in their life. But then there are some that maybe they had a mother, father, a parent issue where one didn't show up. They didn't weren't protected by a parent. They weren't protected by family members, and you know that caused that child to feel create some type of behavior, whether it be a very negative one where they turn into a fighter or they become passive. It's just the thing to do to keep the peace or to keep somebody in your life that you want around instead of you telling them or expecting them to do what they're supposed to be doing as a parent or a caretaker, um, or a guardian. Instead, you turn into a passive person who pretty much is a people pleaser and begs people, or allows people to use them, because they know that these people are dependent upon um, having these people in their lives, meaning that that individual who, was either abandoned or mistreated, or they didn't have a sturdy foundation, or a parent did not provide a sturdy foundation, you know, that child then created a behavior to where um, they just accepted that, and they I guess a way that they protected themselves is they people please people to keep people around them so people wouldn't leave them. They would never really just tell somebody straight up how they feel or risk the fact of, explaining that, hey, you abandoned me, or hey, I needed you and you didn't help me. Instead, you just never say anything. And then these people or other people continue to treat you that way. And you don't really understand it. You feel the uh, you do feel used. You do feel unwhole. You do feel as though these people um, are not. You know, they just continuously use you to make them feel good or to use you when they need you, but you are not being reciprocated or have that ability to use them, is what I'm saying. And so then how does that carry on into our future relationships? We'll choose a man who, he um, will use you. He won't do his part. You become his mama, right? He wants somebody to take care of him and be that ride or die to have his back and create a sturdy foundation for that woman, for that man, but he won't provide that with her. So it's not reciprocated. It's not balanced. It's not even. It's like this, right? And so the woman, has babies and ends up adding to her responsibility on top of, dealing with someone who's immature and, who Lord knows what happened to them that caused them to be that way. And it just becomes a toxic relationship usually. And, you know, a lot of people just don't learn. They just continue through the same cycles over and over again. And those cycles are painful. And a lot of people don't even realize they're in these cycles because they'll jump from person to person to person I mean, the average woman and man, they'll jump from one man, have a baby with another man or a woman, then they'll get into another relationship and have another baby from another man or woman. And, by the time it's all said and done, we got the baby mama, baby daddy, you know, uh, that's what we living in that era now, right? It's not my husband, my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend. It's baby mama, baby daddy, right? Dysfunction, because that's what I look at it as. This is dysfunction. It's not that all relationships work out. It's not that, moms and dads always stay together, but there's just some criterias that just kind of play out and pan out in certain communities. And it's almost as though it's it's glamored. People think it's glamorous. They think that it's a wonderful situation, and it's not. It's not. It just shows how a lot of people are not dealing with the issues in their lives, and by the time, if they ever figure it out, they've added and caked on a whole bunch of karma, life problems, issues, and and it's hard to bring yourself back from that. It's hard to bring yourself back from, sorry, I'm turning my fan on. It's hard to bring yourself back from these things. Now, it's not that you can't, because I think that a lot of us, as the last couple of years have gone by, there's been a lot of stuff going on astrologically. The energies have really been working to get us to either recognize some of these behaviors that are detrimental to our lives, that do not serve us any purpose. Also, it's, also with people in our lives. And like I said, this is not necessarily a love relationship. This might be a family member, a mom, a dad, or a parent or a child. And it could be, a parent and their child is treating them bad. You know, it can be many different criteria. So what fits you, right? So I think, like I said, all the energies astrologically and things going on, I believe all the planets are direct at this point, and so it's time to move forward. And what happens is when we deal with our behaviors that were not serving us, or we let go of the people that are not good for our growth and our highest good, that's when we really start seeing changes and movement. I do understand that things have seemed stagnant. I've been feeling it myself, but what I do is I try my best to keep the attitude of gratitude, um, so that, and I'm just thankful and understand things won't always be this way as long as I do the work and try to understand me. So that's the key. It's not understanding the people that are hurting you. It's not understanding um, the uh, people in your lives that are hurting you. Is to understand you and what your behaviors are, because, and ask yourself why you're attracting these specific types of things into your life, right? So I'm going to pull a couple of cards. I like to pull for present and future. I don't really like to pull for past. I might do past tonight because, Spirit, what are the things in the past that have caused the collective, um, what can you tell us about the past that's caused us to not be able to receive this wonderful energy, and also provide me with a card for present and future to help us understand what we need to do to move forward so that we can receive, we can be in a position to receive. I'm just going to go ahead and pull. And, ooh, actually, three cards fell out. Well, wow. Okay. So I'm going to go with the first card is the Knight of Cups. The second card is the Queen of Cups, emotions. So this is present. And the King of Cups is the future. So it looks as though we have the court cards, and they're in perfect order, which means that in the past we were a Knight of Cups, and a Knight of Cups is going to represent a prince or a charming romance or a proposal. A Queen of Cups represents a nurturing person, healing and support, right? And then the King of Court is a supportive leader, tolerance, and empathy. And so with this, we're just immature. Um, we were, we were charmed. Um, the passions of love, or, someone offering you something to keep you there, um, or you see the beauty in someone, um, the romance. And a lot of times that can blind us because, you know, we really don't see the other side of the situation. Sometimes people show us that charm and that romance to pull us in, to block us, because what really happens is that you give all your energy to that person because you crave that passion, that charm, and that romance, right? It's like how I would tell my daughters how pimps work, and how these people that will pull you in there, they turn a 10 into a 2. They see you, you're a 10, you're beautiful, and they pull you in with that charm and that beauty and that passion and that romance, right? And then as soon as they get you, they start doing things to not keep you, right? Like cheating, um, disrespecting, right? Abuse, verbal or physical. Same thing with families. And so they get you emotionally invested into them with what's fake. It's not real. And if you don't know you, you'll fall for it because you're seeking something that feels so good because you don't feel good. So we're seeking for things that are outside of us, right? And so we don't see that sometimes, a lot of times, it's a trap. And I wouldn't even call it a trap. It's an experience, right? And this tends to happen when we're young, right? We tend to have a couple of relationships before we get into that big relationship. Or some people get married out of high school. Um, but most commonly, this is the past. This is what usually pops up. So the Queen of Cups represents a nurturing person, healing and support. And so presently, I believe that we're nurturing ourselves and we're healing. We're realizing the past cycles, the past behaviors that we created, um, that aren't healthy to our highest good and growth. Um, we're finding those things out. We're looking within ourselves and we're healing, right? We're healing ourselves, right? So that in the future, we can be the actual Kings of Cups, which is a supportive leader for tolerance and empathy. When what we do at this point is we show by our example of the things that we've been through and what we've learned. We show by the way we live our lives to help counsel those around us that you don't got to tell them anything, they just see it, right? They say, oh, isn't that Joe or Sally that used to be down in the dump, Didn't they get a divorce? Didn't she get a divorce last year? And, her man was over there, you know, using her, taking all her money, and, right? But Sally did the work. Joe, isn't he the guy over there that, his wife would just, make him spend all his money on expensive purses, and then she went over there and cheated with the neighbor across the street and got caught, and he still took her back. And then she cheated with his best friend and got caught, and he still took her back. Now he ain't got no friends. He doesn't have no life, or he didn't have a life, but he leveled up. Joe realized he was the problem. He was the one that was allowing these situations to happen the way they were. And that is why he kept getting the same thing done to him. And then, you know, wasn't Joe the one also? He kicked his wife to the curb, and then he got with some other female, and she came in and just stole all his jewelry. God, the poor guy, he just can't get a break, right? Joe started realizing, first of all, I shouldn't just be letting any and everybody come up in my house. And it's something that I'm doing. So let me go ahead and nurture myself, heal myself, you know, excuse me, utilize maybe the supportive people around me, join some groups, get some counseling, you know, to help me understand why I continue going through these same cycles over and over again with different people, but I'm still not getting reciprocated the love and the things that I want in my life. Well, Joe leveled up when he was at Queen of Cups, and now he's that supportive leader. So, you know, people that know Joe and know his struggle see that Joe was able to get up out of that. And now Joe is living his best life, and he doesn't tell anybody anything. You can just see it, right? And Joe also is empathetic to people, who are going through these situations. And maybe Joe created some YouTube channel that assists, boosting the self-esteem of people who are going through these types of situations. And now he's helping thousands of people, and he's making some money while he's doing it, just based on him, you know, understanding and learning from his past experiences, healing up, and then adapting some positive um, um, behaviors and healthy behaviors. And now he's a leader, right? So that's perfect. I mean, that's great. Knight of Cups. Let's see what the bottom of the deck is. Let's see any more information. Eight of Wands. So I think that this King of Cups is coming pretty fast. And, if this has anything to do with a relationship as well, I mean, whatever it is, it might be a fire sign coming fast. Cancer, Pisces. Oops, that's a water sign. I'm sorry. Leo, Sag, Aries. That King of Cups is coming your way to give you and allow you to receive. Now we want to be in this position to where we're receiving from the universe what we should have had a long time ago. Once we corrected those beliefs and behaviors that were not serving us, now, as soon as we healed ourselves and we nurtured ourselves, that's when everything is coming in now. It's coming in, right? Because you've been doing the work. Because you let things go. You let people go. So now you're in a position to where you are in a position to receive. You ready to receive. I'm ready to receive. And I thought I had the conversation earlier. That's why I brought it up, because a lot of us have to understand that these situations are meant to teach us about ourselves. Are we learning? And when we do learn about ourselves, it's not healthy to turn around and try to hurt the person that hurt you. It's better to thank them, but move on. Move on so that you can receive. When you're out with the old, in with the new. And that's what I had the conversation with someone else earlier when they, I've been hearing a lot of people just, oh, I'm still going through the problems with so and so, and it ain't getting no better. My friends are still not being mindful. It's time for you to reevaluate. Are those really friends? Is it time for you to reevaluate? Is this person manipulating you? Because why is it that you're not with them in a relationship anymore? Did you do something to cause the relationship, or did they do something to cause the relationship to fall apart? You know what I'm saying? We all play our own roles in it. And I think that a person who is used, the role that we play is that we close a blind eye and we continue to allow it to happen. And then we make excuses. But we're not happy. I don't believe anybody's happy who's just getting taken from and they're not getting anything back, or the other person is being deceptive in so many ways, to be able to have their cake and eat it too. And so what it comes down to is just pure selfishness. And believe me, there's a lot of people who they don't even realize that they're, selfish, that they're, negative, or not even negative, but they don't even realize that they're using you. They either convince themselves that they are entitled to that type of treatment. Yeah, they're entitled. They're going to get that type of treatment from a fool who is going to keep, giving and allowing them to do whatever they want to them. Yeah. And then the moment that you stop giving to them, then they don't understand. They don't understand. And so you either got a sense of entitlement, or something mentally is going on with you. Because if you think that you could just continue to run people over and treat them bad, and the karma's not going to come back on you, well, you seeing it now. How many of you out there are just seeing people who have just been doing craziness for years? Things just finally start happening to them that's not working in their favor. That, just things are falling apart. Relationships are breaking up. And then they turn around and want to, oh, I love you. I love you. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, I tell you this. Love me when you have me and appreciate me when you have me, rather than getting me, dogging me out, and then realizing that you love me, because I don't trust your ass now. I believe that if you get me back, well, we believe, or it's believed, that you get me back, you're just going to take me for granted and do the same thing over again. It's almost your nature. That's what you do. And I'm not saying that some people don't change, but some people need to learn their lessons or keep going through their cycles, and you need to move on with your cycle, your lessons, and live in your highest good and get on your path so that you can, enjoy and serve whatever purpose it is that you're here for. So I'm going to pull a card, or however many cards want to come out for tarot. Spirit, what is a card to represent for the collectives as being in a position to receive? What message do you have for us? This is some big old cards. Do you have any information for us that you want us to? Also, keep in mind during this time, there's one right here. It's trying to pop out. Heart chakra. So we need to deal with our heart chakra, maybe any blockages that we do have in our heart chakra. And that is getting in your queen of swords. I mean, it's Queen of Cups energy that we pulled earlier, and that's nurturing yourself, trying to heal, and maybe even finding people around you who can help support you in your healing. Blockages in your heart chakra, can, really stop you from ascending in your life and moving forward because we are dealing with the pain and we're not able to really open our heart up and love even ourselves because we are holding on to the pain of a lesson. That's what it was. It was a lesson. So let me read the heart chakra. Heart chakra, the color green, the sound is yum. And so you can make that noise, and that's supposed to help your heart chakra open up. The element is air. The glands are the thymus, which is like right here. You tap your thymus. It's a gland that, we as a child, it was helped, I guess, keep our immune system strong. And then as you got older, it kind of didn't really, you don't use it anymore, but you can activate it again by tapping it to help like your immune system. And the key word is I love. Parallel to the heart, this chakra represents unconditional love, compassion, harmony, relationships, and healing. It's believed to be the link between your mind, body, and soul. Balancing this area may take a while, but you should allow all the time that you need so the healing energy can get through and flow freely. By loving yourself and others, as well as learning forgiveness, you'll become more attuned with spirit. So that's what I was saying earlier is by loving yourself, right? And others, because these people that we're in relationships with like even family members or our children or our love, our mates, best friends, um, loving and forgiving them for the lesson, because that's what it was, allows you to be able to ascend and open up your heart chakra. Learning to forgive. We don't forget things, but forgiving is really important so that we don't carry on those negative behaviors and um, uh, behaviors with us in the future so that we can wholeheartedly receive, uh, be ready to be in a position to receive all that, the universe and others have to give to you. I told someone today because she came to the realization that the lover that she had been dealing with, he had been cheating, but yet he's trying to control her and the relationship. And they don't live in the same city, they live in two different states. But the game changed because he cheated. Whereas at one time she felt secure and stable, she doesn't feel that anymore. And what he's doing is he's now trying to love bomb her and try to manipulate and play guilt trips on her. She's already feeling bad. He didn't ask for forgiveness and claim that he would never do it again. He actually did it again and got caught again. So at this point, she's pretty much at the point where she's ready to let go. But then that's when you'll have people who will try to manipulate. Well, what about the kids? Well, I swear I'll never do this to you again. You know, it's important that you have so much self love that you're willing to cut your losses and move on. Because then you're really going to receive. You're going to receive probably the best thing you ever had. I'm not saying hate that person. I'm not saying pay him back, play tit for tat. I'm saying wholeheartedly, listen, this ain't working. This lesson I learned, I don't want to go through this anymore. I have to let this go. I don't hate you. and I wish you the best. Matter of fact, I love you and I want the best for you, you know. And when we do these types of things, we forgive them and we open our hearts up to receive the love from the universe, to receive the love from everything around us. Remember, it's how you look at things and it's what you feel you deserve. So be mindful of what you tell yourself and be mindful of your thoughts. Turn those negative thoughts into a positive quickly. Even if you don't believe it, fake it till you make it. But having the attitude of gratitude and turning around any kind of negative situations, um, as far as I'll never have this or I'll never do that or I didn't deserve or I should have never. Nope. Everything's working in my favor. Everything's working in my favor. Even if you're crying, I miss him. But everything's working in my favor. Give it some time. Love on you. Love yourself. Oh, baby, you're going to be all right. It's all going to work out for you. I know it hurts. Talk to yourself with love. And pay attention to people that are giving you deceptive information or false information. You know when someone is being deceptive. Your heart tells you. You know. Like I remember Eddie Murphy when he was on, I think it was Raw. It was one of them when his woman, he was cheating on her and she walked in on him and he was like, I I I, I made love to you, but I fuck her, but I make love to you. And so she went to Jamaica and she met up with Dexter St. Jock and got her groove back and on and came back and she was a whole new person. Well, I mean, that's kind of tip for tap, but she did leave and she needed to clear her mind and get her thoughts together and she got her a little R&R and a little sex of sex. But not saying it's wrong or right, but if she comes home after all that and takes him back, it was all done in vain. She's going to get the same thing. So put yourself in a position that's ready to receive. All right. Okay. Good night, everyone.